Well, this crime wave doesn't show any signs of slowing down, and people are demanding their elected officials adopt stronger and tougher criminal justice policies. For more on this, let's bring in Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow Cully Stimson. Cully, is it any wonder, given what happened, last summer and the summer before that, is it any wonder that we're seeing the kind of crime we're seeing in this country?
Not at all, John. In fact, the real reason is threefold. One, the defund the police narrative. Two, the George Soros-elected rogue prosecutors. They are usurping the power of the legislative branch by refusing to prosecute crimes, theft, breaking and entering, resisting arrest. George Gascon is one of many of these elected Soros puppets. Kim Foxx in Chicago is really the one to blame in Chicago. You don't need new laws. You need to enforce the laws that are on the books, and they refuse to do that, and their policies are all pro-criminal and anti-victim, and that is the problem here. By the way, John, some cities don't have a crime problem, and guess what? Cities like San Diego, where the DA is Summer Stephan, same size city as Philadelphia, they had 50 murders last year and the year before. Philadelphia, 500. Why? There's a Soros rogue prosecutor, Larry Krasner, in Philadelphia. It's simply the lack of enforcement of the laws on the books.
In New York, when they started under Rudy Giuliani, started doing, what they called the broken window policing, going after small crimes, they found they were able to put a stop to a lot of the major crimes because a very small percentage of the criminal element is responsible for a huge percent of the crime in a city like New York.
Of course, that's always been the case. And look, when a guy like George Gascon is operating from the playbook that these rogue prosecutors are required to operate from, he refuses to prosecute all misdemeanors. He has a unit in his office that he created to unwind all convictions and sentences more than 15 years. That goes back 40,000 cases. So these people are rogue. They're not operating as the elected DA. They're not there to enforce the law. They believe that to be successful, they have to, quote, fundamentally reverse engineer the criminal justice system, which means enact pro-criminal, anti-victim policies. They can't name one policy that's pro-victim. And in fact, nothing they do has anything to do with the pandemic. So when Jen Psaki and others say that the crime is rising because of the pandemic, that's simply cover. And Biden is pro-criminal. He nominated Rachel Rollins, who was the rogue DA in Boston, who listed 15 crimes you can commit in Boston, including breaking and entering and possession with intent to distribute any drug. So the Biden administration has egg on their face here because they're pro-criminal as well.
Well, the American people are noticing in the latest Ipsos ABC News poll, 36% of Americans say they approve of the job the president is doing when it comes to crime. 61% disapprove. And when it comes to gun violence in this country, 66% disapprove of the job the president is doing. Only 32% approve. Is it the president or is it these DAs, Cully?
Look, it's the DAs for the most part. There's 2,300 elected DAs around the country. The rogue prosecutors themselves are the county elected official required to enforce the law. Most crimes are committed at the local level. And so these are DAs who are at fault. But when Joe Biden nominates a Soros puppet like Rachel Rollins and the Senate confirms her when Kamala Harris steps in and breaks the tie vote, you know that their talk about being for the enforcement of the criminal laws is just nonsense.
Cully.
If Biden cared about it, he would come out against Soros and these rogue prosecutors, but they're not going to do that.
Cully Stimson, thank you.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.